Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back live, and it is April the 18th, and it is very sad that there was again a mass shooting in various universities here in the United States of America. It is very sad that we are averaging right now more than two shootings a month for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Actually, about last decade. And it never ends. Why? Because there is racism, there is endless squabbles, quarrels, sometimes very petty. And in America, as you very well know, buying a gun is like going to the McDonald's restaurant and showing your ID and some other requirements. So it is endless. And as I've said, the only way to stop this is, number one, it starts with the immigration policy. If we continue this very freewheeling type of immigration, accepting new immigrants based on this current law without any specifications on, number one, assessing the person. What type of a person is this? Does he have a previous criminal background? The mother, the father, the relatives. Secondly, if you'll notice, most of the shootings always begins with juveniles, universities, schools, elementary, high schools, middle schools, all happening more than estimated 70% of the time when a kid gets bullied, etc., etc., he gets a gun from his father, relative, friend, goes back to the school and starts the mass shooting. So I have told this proposal a long time ago that every single student must be on a safety mode net wherein there will be security officers that would make sure that once they enter the premises of the school, there will be absolutely no guns, no knives, and that kind of paraphernalia. That's the only way. Because if we will continue this wait and see situation, more kids will die every 2 months. Every other month or every month we will be averaging mass shootings to the tune of what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 19 people dead. And we are the United States of America. So we studied it very carefully. Is it the parent raising up this child to be helped? It's simply logistically too expensive. It's not realistic. So the realistic move is to make sure that the security guards, north, south, east, west, of a given university will have to make sure that that given student does not have any kind of weapon. Because, ladies and gentlemen, just on my own, I have been robbed by a guy by the name of Donald R. Kincaid, who faked his death certificate. It's that bad. That's why we are going to fast track everything to support the new Attorney General, the very amiable, the very sharp, one of the best Attorney Generals ever, Pam Bondi. Because in the Prosperity Channel, we always believed that the foundation of a prosperous society, of a prosperous county, of a prosperous locality is the quality of immigrants to act in a civilized manner, where shooting for all intents and purposes cannot happen. So, if you look at the very prosperous cities, locations in the world, peace and order is number one. That is the very foundation of a very, very prosperous society. On the other hand, if you associate with criminals like Donald R. Kincaid and these other scalawags, then obviously no investor will even think of going there. On the other right-hand side, if the investors know that this is Tokyo, Japan, where there is no way there is going to be any shooting, look at the results. Tokyo is still the #1 net earner when it comes to tourism. That's why, if you'll notice, in any part of the world, especially in dictatorial nations, once there is a mass shooting, they say, no way, we're not going to publicize this. It is not only a disgrace, but it is absolutely economic sabotage, because nobody will go there anymore. The good guys, this is based on History 101, will leave that country, will leave that city, will leave that municipality, will leave that county, will leave that location instantly. And we already know who started again the gunfire. One would say, is it a black guy? Or is it one of those white guys who are taking drugs right now that ended up into this shooting in a bar, in a restaurant, in a supermarket, in a place of worship? All because of two basic things: racism, and the other one, there was a verbal altercation. And it just goes on and on. And therefore, I'd like to repeat, not sounding redundant, the way to stop the mass shootings is to come out with a very strict immigration policy. You know, I was always hit on that particular issue. Okay? I'd like to repeat, I went to the United States of America since 1989, but I left, went back I left, went back 4 times. And then I got my green card in early 2000. I applied for citizenship, but I was grossly, criminally maligned by the group of Kichi Benedicto in Santa Ana, California. Miss Kichi Benedicto's group deliberately said I did not pay my taxes, where I showed my tax returns. It was very clear. But since she was considering me as a political enemy, she decided based on that particular misinformation, or deliberately maligned me and destroyed the legal process of immigration. And that happened, ladies and gentlemen, in Santa Ana, California, Department of Immigration. Again, I was accused of bluffing when I said that a long time ago. But even Governor Schwarzenegger knows about it. That's how corrupt the immigration system we have right now. You already showed the evidence that I paid joint taxes. But she said, no way, boy, no way. That's not what I'm asking. I said, what then? No, you did not pay taxes. What about indirect taxes? I said, no. Stop it, Sales tax, indirect tax. And the many contributions I've done in the great state of California. So that's why I'm here in Oklahoma. Because of Miss Kichi Benedicto's group. And that is a fact. Even Governor Schwarzenegger knows about it. So what am I trying to say? Overnight, the United States of America, overnight, with the right policies and the implementation plans, well-funded implementation plans, overnight this nation will reduce the 37 down to $36 trillion debt right now. And the killings will stop. Because every student now must be inspected by a police officer to make sure that there are no guns to enter the premises of the given university. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to cut short this particular program because we have another show coming in this evening. We have to prepare with our guests because we're inviting guests right now. This is Gavin Bautista at the Prosperity Channel. Thank you. Good afternoon, and see you soon. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, or you want to be a sponsor, because we have millions of viewers right now here in the United States, my Viber number is 405-503-8511. One more time, 405-503-8511. Thank you very much. And if you want to hit me with an email, it's superdeals with a plural S 1494@gmail.com or midwestern91@gmail.com.